Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the e-commerce performance marketing show. Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Ecom Performance Marketing Show. So in this episode, I'm going to go over a few tools that are going to help you be able to optimize the performance on your site. So your site is your biggest tool in your business to get sales consistently and at scale. If you can get your site to be optimized to move people from visitor to customer to repeat customer, you'll have a very powerful, successful business. But you really have to optimize your site in many different ways. And in order to do that effectively, you first have to know how your site works, how well it works, how well it doesn't work, where you lose people, where your leaks are. This way you can make changes without doing it in a way that doesn't lead to the result that you want. If you just do it blindly, for example, and you just make changes hoping things will change in the analytics and getting sales, that's not going to do anything for you. You really have to think about your site in a micro conversion type way, meaning that you need to look at every single small step leading to website visitor, to becoming a lead, to becoming a customer, and then going through your upsell and downsell process that you should have in your business. If you think of it that way, then you can really break it down and you can identify where you're really losing people. Now, you can do that in your own mind, and you can think about that, and that's great to have that mindset. But you need tools. You need tools to be able to see it clearly on your site in reports that show you exactly what's happening when people come to your site and how they behave. This way, you can plug those leaks and you can make changes to your site to be able to get better performance from your website and more sales. This is especially important if you're spending money on ads. If you're spending money on ads, then it's super important that where you send people, that page or that site or that funnel, it performs. Because if it doesn't, you're just going to be wasting money, and that's not a good thing, obviously. And you don't want to waste money or time, the time that you put into getting those ad campaigns up and setting up all your ads and writing all your ads and creating your graphics or your videos or your images. You don't want that time to go to waste. And so it's super important that wherever you're sending traffic, you want to make sure that that place, whether it's your typical e-commerce website or if it's a funnel or if it's just a page, maybe it's a squeeze page, for example, you want to make sure that that asset that you're driving traffic to performs for you. And so you really have to get into the analytics and you have to measure everything properly. So in this episode, I'm going to go over a few tools that I recommend personally, that I've had personal experience with, that can help you be able to really see what's happening when people come to your site or your funnel or your page that you're driving traffic to. So this way you can get better performance from those assets, and you can really start to see your results in your business increase because of the fact that you're seeing what's happening on your site very, very clearly. Okay, so let me take you over to the first software that I'm going to go over and talk about with you. And then I've got 2 others that I'm going to go over in today's episode as well. I do recommend them all. And this way you can take this information, you can apply it, you can adopt it for your business, and you can start to get more clarity on what's happening in your business when it comes to those marketing assets that you're driving traffic to or getting organic traffic to as well. So let's jump into this first software. Okay, guys, so we're here at Hotjar.com. Hotjar is an incredible tool that I highly recommend that can really help you be able to identify what's happening on your marketing assets, whether it's your websites, funnel, you name it. Now this tool, it's also free up to a certain traffic level. And so if you're a new or newer e-commerce business, you're not seeing a lot of traffic yet, you should definitely get Hotjar. Hotjar is free up to a certain threshold. Now, Hotjar is going to help you with several different features that they have. They have heat maps for one. Now, heat maps, if you don't know what that is, basically you'll be able to look at a report and see where people are hovering on the site. And you'll be able to see if they're stopping at a button, or they're stopping at an image or a piece of copy, and maybe you're losing them at that point. It'll give you that intel, so this way you can see how people are behaving on your pages on your website where you're driving traffic or getting traffic. Also, it does recordings. This is huge. It'll actually record someone coming to your site, and you'll get a number of these recordings you can go through. This way you can see how your visitors are performing when they land on your site, and why they're stopping, why they're dropping off at any point from visit to purchase. This way you can make those changes, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, based on data, and that data is your users, which is in those user recordings. It also has surveys. Surveys are great. Surveys are awesome because you can actually ask surveys on your pages to get feedback, like, what made you decide to come to our site today? ? What's their motive? That's huge because you can use that feedback, that messaging, in other areas of your marketing. Or when they get to like another part of your site, for example, like let's just say they're coming back for the second or third time, and you want to ask them like, what made you return to the site? ? And then you could find out. So, and you could set up that type of criteria and those types of pop-ups based on behavior. So this way you can really get targeted with the questions you're asking based on how many times they've been to your site and what's bringing them back and so forth. So definitely implement some of those things with Hotjar. Hotjar is amazing, and it can definitely help you out a lot. There's a lot of other features, but those are the biggest features that will give you a lot of clarity in your analytics. This way you can make changes that are based on data instead of just guessing. Okay, so this next one here is Lucky Orange. So Lucky Orange has those same exact features that I just mentioned with user recordings, heat maps, surveys. It also has a few other things as well though. So if you're using funnels, which I highly recommend, especially for generating customers, when you're driving traffic from paid advertising, best practice, most people will say this, not every expert, but a lot of experts say this, and I agree with those experts, is you want to use a funnel to drive traffic to get customers. So this way you can maximize the effectiveness of your ad dollars, and you have a lot more control over a funnel versus a typical e-commerce website. So the nice thing about Lucky Orange is it will actually track your conversion funnel step by step by step. And so when you set up Lucky Orange in a funnel, for example, you can actually look at your conversion funnel reports, and you could see what your conversion rates are page to page to page, and where people are dropping off, so as we can optimize those steps in your funnel process that you're using to acquire leads and customers, or upsells and downsells even, from paid traffic. So I definitely recommend taking advantage of Lucky Orange for that. It also has built-in chat functionality where you can have a chat on your site, which you should have at minimum from Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger gives you that chat box functionality that you can install on your site. But a better upgrade to that is using Lucky Orange, so this way you can have a chat feature with Lucky Orange, and Lucky Orange has a bit more features built into their chat that I highly recommend you take advantage of. Now on top of that too, they also have form analytics. Now what this means is that, let's just say that you're using a squeeze page, an opt-in page where you're giving out a free guide, something related to your brand and your products, and you're asking for first name, last name, email, phone number. You're asking for a lot of details. If that's you, then you can use the form analytics feature to see which fields are causing you to lose people, which is huge. So this way you can test and see which fields that you should be asking for and you shouldn't be asking for. That will apply more towards companies that are trying to get applications or asking lots of questions in a sign-up form somewhere in their marketing. That's where that feature will be definitely very, very powerful. Also, you can use surveys, polls, on your site, which is also awesome because it allows you to get some solid feedback from people as they visit your site. Now, one way I would do it, for example, is after I've done a deep dive survey to an audience, whether it's a cold or a warm audience that I have access to, and I've gone through the data analysis process and I've identified the top 3 to 5 segments or buckets in that audience that are the hottest segments to really focus on, I would also then put up a poll on my site, and I would ask them, what's motivated you to come to our business today, ? And then I would have those 3 to 5 buckets being answers. So this way I can see which ones they fall into, just to further validate my audience that I'm getting to my site and them falling into one of those 3 to 5 buckets, which allows me to validate the buckets even further. Plus, on top of that, nice thing about doing that is you can also tag them, and you could really tag them with a pixel event. So this way you can group them based on the segment and the bucket that they've fallen into. So this way you can then retarget them based on that bucket and really have very specific messaging based off what bucket they fell into. Now, it's a fairly advanced tactic that I just gave you, but I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Just let me know in the comments if you have questions about it. I'm definitely happy to do so. Okay, and then finally the last tool here. So this one is a great tool, but it is definitely very complex. It's definitely not a tool for a beginner e-commerce business. I wouldn't recommend it, and definitely for price point wise, I totally wouldn't recommend it. But this tool allows you to do lots of different things. We've used it for years in our clients that we helped at my agency, CVO Acceleration. And then in my accelerator program, I recommend this when a client is at a certain threshold traffic-wise and sales-wise in their business, because again, it isn't at a cost. However, it's a great software. It's enterprise level and allows you to do all sorts of different testing on your site. You can do A/B testing, which is simply, let's just say a simple one would be show a green button versus a blue button. When it comes to buying now, that's one simple example. You can do multivariate testing, which is where you basically tell VWO that on this one page, you want to show 5 different headlines, 5 different buttons, 5 different images, and just randomize them and let me know which combination has the best conversion rate. So you can do multiple tests all at once, basically, and that's good for a lot of traffic to a page. If you're not getting a lot of traffic to a page, then a test like that will take way too long to get an answer on. You don't want to do that. But if you are getting a lot of traffic, you're driving a lot of traffic to a page, then multivariate testing can be very powerful. Or you could always do a split URL test with VWO, which is where for example, let's just say you're running a Facebook ad campaign, you're driving people to buy your product, and you're driving them to your product page on your site. You can have a split URL test where you plug in one specific URL into that Facebook ad campaign, and that URL will then split the traffic 50-50 between 2 different pages. So you can have basically the original product page, and you can have a variation of that product page. And when you would want to do this versus like say an A/B test is if you're showing like a completely different design and you're trying to see if that gets a better result, or if you're doing a whole nother offer possibly with like bonuses and things like that as well. That could be also a test you would want to run using the split URL test. It also has like the funnel insights, very similar to what I mentioned before with Lucky Orange, where you can actually track funnel performance and conversions throughout the funnel and see where your leaks are. VWO can also set that up as well. It can also do session recordings like Hotjar, like Lucky Orange. It can do heat maps just like those. It can do on-page surveys, form analytics, all the stuff that I just went over with Hotjar and Lucky Orange. VWO can also do right away. So there's definitely a lot to like about VWO. But it's a very premium level solution that gives you a ton of testing tools. This way you can get better performance from your web assets, whether it's your e-commerce store, whether it's your funnel, whether it's your pages you're driving traffic to. It's an awesome solution, but it's a premium solution. And if you can afford it, great, awesome. Get it, it's awesome. I recommend it personally. We've used it quite a bit. We've actually required it to be a standard with all of our clients that pay us $5,000, $10,000 a month to basically be their marketing team and run all their ads, create their funnels, manage their funnels, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely check it out if that's you. So anyway, either way though, definitely go and implement one of these tools if you don't have something like this in your e-commerce business, because this is going to give you a better lens on what's working and what isn't in your business, and you owe it to yourself. You don't want to do any type of hope marketing and just trying different things hoping something's going to work. You want to actually act with data in mind, and these tools will give you access to that data and give you that lens. This way you're making the right actions, the right decisions when it comes to getting better performance from your web assets, especially if you're driving traffic to those web assets, because you don't want to waste time or money. So that's it for today's episode of the Ecom Performance Marketing Show. If you appreciated this episode, go ahead and hit subscribe and also like this episode. And feel free to share it too if you're seeing this on Facebook. This way other people can also get access to this invaluable episode, and they can start testing better as well using some of these tools that I've recommended. Thank you again so much for watching this episode. I appreciate it, and I hope you're doing well and keep driving. The holidays are coming up. This is a tremendous opportunity for you to literally, possibly, double your business with the right strategy, the right approach, and the right management of all of your marketing during Black Friday. So if you want help with that, if you want help getting better and better results going into the fourth quarter of this year, which we're already in, then go ahead and go to arm5formula.com or shoot me a message with Arm5 Formula if you're seeing this on social media. This way we can schedule a time to chat, and I can tell you about my Arm5 Formula Accelerator, my 12-month mentorship program, and we can get to work right away. We can hit the ground running, and we can create a strategy that's going to help you be able to really maximize your success during the end of this year and going into 2021. So again, go to arm5formula.com or shoot me a private message if you're on social with Arm5 Formula. Thanks for watching or listening to this episode. I appreciate it. Now go ahead and go take action. Thank you for tuning into the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.